Let's take a look at some angle properties. In this video, I will cover adjacent angles, linear pairs, vertical angles, supplementary angles, and the angle bisector theorem. Let's first look at adjacent angles. Adjacent angles are simply any two angles that are side by side. As you see, these two angles have a common side. So the angle I have outlined in yellow and the angle I am outlining in red are adjacent angles. Linear pairs are also adjacent angles. However, a linear pair is when two angles form a straight line. Their non-common side, the side the angles do not have in common, form a straight line. That's why it's called a linear pair. Next, we'll look at vertical angles. As you can see, I have many angles here. Vertical angles, though, are angles like that. It looks like a bow tie, if you can imagine a bow tie. Let me get rid of this illustration. It's the angles here. The blue angles are vertical angles, and just for further definition, these yellow angles here are vertical angles. One helpful way to think about vertical angles is just that they're opposite. So these two angles here would be considered vertical angles, as well as these two angles right here. One thing that is always true about vertical angles is that they are congruent. So if this angle here measured at 80 degrees, this angle, its vertical angle, by definition, would have to be 80 degrees. And if this angle here measured at 100 degrees, the vertical angle would have to be 100 degrees as well. Now for complementary angles. As you can see, complementary angles are adjacent, but they are special because they add up to 90 degrees. So complementary angles is when you have two angles that add up to 90. So for instance, this could be 50 degrees and this would be 40 degrees. Any two angles that add up to 90 are considered complementary. Similarly, two angles that add up to 180 degrees are considered supplementary. So if here I have a 60-degree angle and here I have a 120-degree angle, together they would equal 180 degrees, which is supplementary. Two angles that equal 180 degrees are considered supplementary.